number one, I guess, just the opportunity to play this game this year with everything that has gone on. I mean, you guys have, postponed it, then moved it, locations. Just the opportunity to play this game has got to be something special this year.
To me it is. And, these kids have, they've lost so much, in the graduation year of 2020 and stuff that's just totally out of their hands. And so, I have always talked about football and learning about life. And this is just, they've got the biggest awakening of what life can be. And so to be able to have this game for these boys and for these parents, they're just so excited about it, and the opportunity to do it. And so Coach Srisha from Harrison, that's kind of the coordinator, Coach Trimble from the Nebraska team, we talked earlier in the summer about, we got to do whatever we can to keep this game, alive and for these boys. And, it's been a struggle. We've been up and down and trying to figure out. And, it's just every time I get a phone call, I just think, well, it's done. And then we, kind of get our breath and say, yeah, we can do this. And, here we are a day away from the game, and these boys are excited. They're here. Parents are excited for them, and so it's just going to be, it's just going to be a fun time. I said, win, lose, or draw for both teams. It's just the opportunity to get these boys on the field one last time as a unit, and we reward them for, all the work they've done, in football for their whole lives. And so it's fun for us as coaches just to be a part of it, and but this is for the boys and the parents.
Talk a little bit about what do you do in a short preparation time, Jack? How do you get this team ready for a game like this?
It's just that football knowledge, and it was, interesting last night. I kind of made everything just simple, thinking into the process, but then we started throwing the game plan into it last night, and I thought we was going to have to be very limited on our offenses. I have Cliff Jones from Hannah and myself, kind of throwing in offenses, and I thought, man, we're going to have to limit it because we got, different kids and different offenses that's played. But, already last night I was able to throw twice as much as I thought I would have to at them, and they just absorb it. They're all state players, most of them, and been around football most of their lives. And so it was an easy coaching experience last night, just throwing in plays. And they just, they caught on so fast to what Cliff and I was wanting to do. And, it's just after day one, I'm definitely happy where we are, and definitely think we're ahead of where I thought we would be. So it's going to be interesting today to really fine-tune some things, just quick turnaround and play tomorrow afternoon.
Talk a little bit about that. I don't know, how much you game plan for Nebraska or anything, because you may not know their personnel as well. So what do you think some keys are going to be for your team on Thursday night, Jack?
I think it's just the basics for us. Both teams are talented. Both teams are very limited of what we could do as far as game planning. To me, for us, it's more what we can do and limit the mistakes and just let the athletes kind of take over the game and don't get it so complicated that we start making mistakes, because that's going to be the difference in the game. Whichever team can, control the ball and not have turnovers and tackle well. I mean, these kids have not tackled since November. And so it really, to me, it just comes down to the basics of football. I don't think it's going to come down to play calling and fancy plays. And it's just going to come down to who can, get these kids just to get back to where they were in November after, 8-month layoff of playing football. It really is just going to come back to the, basics of football, blocking, tackling, knowing the plays, getting 6 kids to do the same thing. So I think that's the challenge for us coaches and the players, is just keep it simple enough that they know what they're doing, that everybody's on the same page, we're all moving as a unit, and then just blocking, tackling, doing what you need to be doing in football anyway. But after 8 months, that's going to be difficult. And we're taking kids that have, all over the state that ran different offenses. And so I think that, to me, it's just the basics of football.
Lastly, these games, some of them have been lopsided. I think maybe only a couple, but I mean, last year came down to basically a Hail Mary on the game's final play that Wyoming won on. I mean, this is competitive six-man football it's turned out in this series between Wyoming and Nebraska.
It is, and it's interesting. Coach Trimble from the Nebraska side, he's coaching again this year, and he's the original coach when we started this, I think the second year of our six-man programs, and so he's back coaching his team this year, and it's going to be interesting because we won the first three, they won the next three, and then we've kind of split back and forth, and Wyoming's ahead in the series. But it's always been very competitive. You don't know what kind of games you're going to get, but most of them have been very competitive. And like you said, last year's was just a Hail Mary at the very end with a couple of great athletes from Wyoming making the play. And I'm hoping it don't come down to that this year. Hopefully we have enough horses and that we can open things up a little bit. But it's just going to be a fun game, and I'm excited for the kids, and we'll just have to see what takes place, because it's not going to be because of game planning, because 2 days you can't really game plan too much.
Got to leave it up to the athletes, huh?
You do, and that's why they was picked. And we played around, most of them, and some of them played for me, and so we know all the athletes that we have. And so I said, and that's what we said as coaches: keep it simple and let the athletes, do this. That's what we're hoping to do, and I'm just hoping it's good enough for Wyoming to, at the end of the day, to bring back the trophy.